Hey everybody, Kevin here. How are you all doing today? Out here at work, trying to get caught up a little bit. Got a new piece of equipment that I'm using, and it's a device that does soldering on circuit boards, attaching components to the board. And I thought I'd show it a little bit. Been out here most of the morning here in Central Time, and had a couple friends out and had some coffee, and then we turn around. They one of them was here for quite a while and helped me out a little bit, kind of learning the new machine. And I thought I'd see if I can figure out how to flip the camera around here and show it to you. So it's called a selective solder unit. And so this is it. So here's the product. I've got these boards. We run these circuit boards, and we have to add on some connectors. And so that's it before we have the through-hole components put on. And sorry about the fast movement here. And here's our board after the components are put on. So we add these connectors here and back over here, and then we put an LED on. So there's a machine here called a selective solder unit. And I'll back up a little bit so you can kind of see it here. This is the workstation. So this is what it does. And it is a unit. I've got some boards preloaded in here. Let me raise this guy up. It's got a solder pot down in here and a flexing unit. And so if you can see the solder is, you can see it moving right there just a little bit. See if I can get it to focus on it. And hey Larry. And this is the flexing unit. And so it sprays it on the bottom side of the circuit board. So let me load up another board here. I've got it preloaded kinda. I'm gonna slide these back down to get them in the queue. Get them right up to where they need to be. Hard to do one-handed. So I figured some people kind of find this interesting, and so every double set of boards right here is they're stacked in. And so I've got all these loaded up here. I'm just gonna shove them all down to get them up in there, and I'm going to hit the green go button. So right now it's coming up underneath it, and it's spraying flux underneath the board. And here is the head unit, so you can kind of see what's going on. It's got two cameras underneath. You can see the solder's not touching it yet, but it's getting ready. It's spraying flux on all the spots on both boards, and it's moving right down through there, and we're almost done. All right, so now the flexing is done. We moved a heating element over the top, and our board is already hot, and here we are soldering. So you can see the pins, how it runs down through there. Hey Alex. So this unit is soldering those pins onto the board. And here is our board temperature. Our preheat board was going to heat it to 40. The board's actually sitting at 50. Our solder is at 310 degrees. So here we are. Let me go back up here so you can see what's going on. We've got two cameras underneath there, so we can see what is actually happening in there. So here we are on the bottom side of a USB connector. We're soldering those. Even though the four pins are soldered at the same time, they separate out. Here's a little bit different angle. So you're seeing a computer screen. Here we're coming back on the second circuit board. It's a two-panel. The board has two panels on it. You can see where we're coming right down through there. And again, this board is setting in 50 degrees Celsius, which is I don't know, hot in Fahrenheit, and then that solder is 310 Celsius, and so we're averaging I would guess 600, close to 600 Fahrenheit, something like that. So we've got these two boards with four connectors, four pieces on each one. And it's just almost finished with the last one. You kind of see here. I'll do another one in just a second and shoot it from the side of the machine back up through the rail so you can see it. So the old board, I got it setting here. I just kind of leave it setting off to the side so it'll cool down just a little bit. And you can see the solder joints that we did right there. All right, so it's finished. That one worked out. Let me put this one in the slot here saying it's done. Okay, so the way this machine works is take it right here, and I've got a little jig that holds these LEDs. I just hold them in place because that solder, when hot, will cause them to move just ever so slightly. It's hard to do with one hand and a camera. So I got this board. We just did it. I slide it off to the side, put the stop back in there, put this on here, and I touch these USB connectors just to make sure that they're in position. These components are just setting there with gravity doing its job. All right, I'm going to walk around here to the side and I'll shoot this. And we're going to slide up underneath here. Let me get this board out of the way. It's the one we just did, and it's still pretty warm. All right, so here it is from the side of the machine, and hopefully you can see the circuit board up in there. All right, I just hit go. So the flux is spraying up in there, and it's so hard to see. I'm not even sure you can see it very well. It's a very thin mist. All right, so now the preheater's coming in, and normally it'd turn those lights on, but the board's already at 40 degrees Celsius. And we're soldering the board, trying to get it to focus. It's wanting to focus on that sprayer unit. So you can see the flux kind of burning off of it just a little bit. Oh, come on, focus, work with us. So I'm shooting this on my iPhone. And anyway, it takes 2.5 minutes to do this. Trying to get it down so you can see the board just a little bit. That that spool of solder up there is for tinning the tip as time goes by. The tip right here, where all this solder is at, is surrounded by nitrogen, and so I've got a nitrogen line feeding it to blow out all the oxygen and everything else, and it floods that area right there to keep that solder going great. This is lead-free solder that we're doing. Oh, come on, focus. Hey, John. So there you go. You can kind of see it, and it's soldering on those little connectors. That's a speaker right there. There's the last connector. It's a USB of the second board on it. Anyway, this is almost complete for that particular board, and our process time is 2.5 minutes. All right, again, try and do this one-handed. So I'll pull this one off. So this is going to be a good part of my Saturday. So I got these boards just sitting right here, and here we can see the solder joints that we just did. You can see the flux on there, and I hit it good with flux, so we got a good solder joint, because we want that solder to pull up inside of the top side of those connectors. And so it does a great job on that. And it's all aligned. Hit the go button. And we're going to do it yet again. So we're going to spend all day. This is who makes this thing. It's called a NOVO 102 from Nordstrom. So I've got Got a bunch of boards here. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. These are preloaded that I've got in there. I don't know if you can see the LED shaking or not. Certainly see my hand shake. And so I slide the board in here to let them preheat so that they're ready to go on the, and we don't have to turn the light on. Sorry about the camera angle. It's just really tough to do one-handed. So these boards are, all components are surface mounted with the exception of these 4 pieces. And so over here is our surface mount line. So this is the output to the oven. We have them come out right here. Somebody sits right here and catches them. And so the oven's, I don't know how long it is. It's got 9 heat zones to it. I think I've shown this before. Anyway, this is the inspection station where they come out, and here's part of our pick and place machine. This is a piece that holds the components that are in a tray, so it's called a tray feeder. And this is the pick and place. It's not on right now, so I'll raise it up. Here's some feeders that we got, and you can see that we've where it kicks out the unused pieces, and so we got them up in here. And back over in here is one of our trays. This is the microprocessor that's on the board. And then here's our solder, our jet printer. And so instead of our stencils, normally you have a metal stencil that you squeegee the paste through. This guy is completely different. It actually has little tubes. Here's a clean out tube, but it sets in a holder right here, and it squirts it out in little bitty dots. I don't know if you can see right here or not. Let me see if I can focus in on that. Boy, it's so close. There you go. Hopefully you can see that. There are 300 dots in each one of those little grids, and that's what it does. So it does a sample print on this reel of tape prior to actually printing on the board. So it just does that to prime the head to get it going. And that goes in right there. Put the door back down. Everything is computer driven. Oh, board just finished on the other machine. And here's a stack of boards that when we stop, that's it just feeds them through, drops them in one at a time, puts them on the conveyor, and everything is completely automated. So here's the workstation that we have, and this is, I got a microscope right here, so you can see this is a set of boards, and here's what it actually it looks like on the board. That's our microprocessor, and boy, everything's moving, and this is zoomed in pretty high. I don't know what it is. Oh, there's just 10x, but this little digital scope will zoom in all the way to 52, where you can look right at the solder joint. And so that in itself is pretty cool. And so our last piece of equipment for this is this guy right here. This is a 3D image scanner. And so what it does, let me grab a board here. This is one. This is brand new. We just got it aligned. So here's a set of boards. It's got the speaker cover pulled off of it. See if I can figure out how to load this in here correctly. So you can see what our board is supposed to look like. So I'm going to take this thing and drop it in here and get it aligned. And so it goes in here just like this, and it goes off this 0 point. So we want to make sure it's shoved all the way over here like this. And I'm going to step back here a little bit. I'm going to hit the start button so you can watch it. It's going to pull that board in, and it's going to take a 3D picture. All different colors, all different spots around that circuit board. And so we're creating a 3D image of every component of every solder joint on it. Okay, and then it reviews it and it says defect occurred. I doubt there's any defects. There might be, but most likely it turns around, and so right here, it's looking at it, it says, hey, you got a D4, this unit, this piece has a problem with it, and it created a 3D image of the solder joint. And you can see where the camera thought it pulled up a little bit of a spike here, and it says, hey, I'm not seeing exactly what I want to see. And it says, hey, I think there's a problem here. And actually, there's no problem. That's just an image reflection. We got to train the database. And here it's doing the exact same part, saying, hey, there's a little bit of an unexpected hill there in the solder, but it's fine. And we just got to train the database. And so here it's saying a bridge in the solder between this right here. So U3, these pins, click on this. And yeah, there is no bridge. It's a reflection of the solder when it's in there, the flux. And so you can see here what we're looking at, and then down here it shows us where we are on the board. And so there's no problem here. And so all those defects, we've got to actually train the database on how to use it. And so this is finished. Just click on Finish Inspection, and it kicks the board out, and it is complete and ready to go. It actually analyzes the board, and it will look at the height of all the components of everything. It does an OCR on the components, looks at them, and this board has 0 defects. Ready to be program tested, disassembled, and ready to go. Anyway, I'm spending my Saturday out here putting components on boards. So I'm sure everybody else having a whole lot more fun. But hey, work is work, and we need to get products out the door. Here's the one we just did. You can see that one's got a little bit of a, right there, that's got a jumper on the solder. Trying to get it to focus. So I'll hit that and pull that off. And the reason it's doing that is because I cut my LEDs. I've got a machine over here that I got, and I have the LEDs. Let's see, let me lay it down here. You can see how come on, focus. We'll get it to focus. There you go. You can see how the LEDs have pins on them. And right there, and some of them are a little bit longer than the other, and I've got to get that dialed in on my machine. I got a deal right here that it's kind of like a Gatling gun, and you take this thing and you crank it, and it cuts the components off. And I need to adjust it just a little bit so that it's not there. But you just take that thing and you crank it. It pulls out of the the magazine down there and cuts them LEDs off, and it'll crank them off. You know, if you're in an old Western movie, you're going to be shooting it like a Gatling gun. Anyway. I just got it on a heavy crate there, and it's a stack of boards yet to go through, and I've got several, I don't know, good 1,000 over there or more yet to do today. So just thought I'd do a little live. And no, Larry, that's awesome. Thanks for the live tour. Yeah, you bet. It's just a lot of fun, you know. This is part of the expansion that I've done over the past couple of months, and adding in all this equipment here has just been a lot of fun. We've got a second pick and place coming in a week or so, I would assume, and we'll get it online in the next couple days. I got to move those racks and stuff down there where the boxes are at and scoot everything down, and we'll have 2 pick and places going. At each one of them can place components at 30,000 components an hour, so we'll be able to kick out 60,000 components placed on circuit boards in an hour. That means that the boards will be coming off our line, going in the oven. A pair of boards like this, full of components, will be coming out of this line in approximately every 10 to 12 seconds, 15 seconds maybe. We'll have a set of boards coming out, going into the oven. And so it'd be 8 boards a minute. When we break them apart, it'll be 4 panels a minute, maybe a little bit quicker than that, or 8 individuals. So a lot of fun coming down the road. So there's our x-ray unit. We can turn around and x-ray inside these. We can look inside the components and the holes to see what it is. Anyway, hey, you guys have a great day, and we'll try this again sometime.